Hello, friends of Sudoku. Today is April 23, 2023. Welcome to the New York Times Hard Sudoku. Let's get started right away. There's a 4 blocking over here and a 4 blocking down, so a 4 must go in one of these two squares. And there's a 2 blocking over and another 2 blocking over, so another digit for these two squares is going to be a 2. So we have a 2 and a 4 here. And giving the 3 blocking down here, this square must be a 3. And therefore, these two must be a 1 and a 9. A 9 and a 6 blocking down, and a 9 and a 6 blocking across. So these two squares must be a 9 and a 6 in some order. And we can figure out what these squares have to be. The 8 blocks up here, so here's an 8. So these two being a 1 and a 9 makes these a 5, 2, and a 7. So a 2, 5, and a 7 here, a 6 and a 9 here, that makes these a 3 and a 4. We have a 3 blocking down, so the 4 must go here and the 3 here. We also had a 2 and a 4 here. Therefore, this must be the 2 and this must be the 4. A 2, 6, and a 9 for these three squares here. There is a 2 and a 6 blocking across, so the 9 must go up here. And that gives us a 6 here and a 9 here, because we do remember we had the 6 and a 9 for these two squares, don't we? And this square therefore must be a 2, because it's the last missing digit in the column. Here we're going to be looking for a 1, 6, and a 7. And those I can't solve yet. Here we were looking for a 2, 5, and a 7. Also no solution to that yet. But the 4s, we have a 4 blocking down, another 4 blocking down, and a 4 blocking across. So here is a 4. And now we have a 4 and a 9 here, because we got a 4 and a 9 here and a 4 and a 9 here. So 4 and 9s are spoken for in rows 7 and 8. We still need a 4 and a 9 for row 9, and the only squares available are these two here. Therefore, these squares must be a 1, 2, and a 7. So a 1 must go in one of these two squares, but that is all I can say, I think, at this point. There's a 6 blocking up here and a 6 blocking down, so and a 6 blocking over, so here's a 6. And speaking of 6s, what do you think this is going to be? It cannot be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and a 9, so it's a 6. Sometimes these are so easy to spot, because I was just thinking about 6s, and then I was looking across the grid and I saw all of these beautiful digits converging here, and the only digit available is a 6. And we do remember the 4, 9 here, don't we? We have an 8 and a 1 going across here. So these two squares must be an 8 and a 1, except we do have a 1 blocking down. So the 8 is forced to go here and the 1 here. And a 4 and a 9 here now gives us a 2 and a 3 for these squares here. There's a 2 blocking down, so the 3 must go here and the 2 must go here. 5 and 7 now for these two squares, and still nothing I can do about that. But I am seeing a 5 and an 8 blocking up and a 5 and an 8 blocking over, so these two squares must be a 5 and an 8. And by the way, I almost missed the 1 blocking down and the 1 blocking up, and if these are 5s and 8, then this must be a 1. Remember the 1, 9 we had here? This is now the 9, and this is the 1. Now this square must be a 1, and I can tell you why. Because we have a 1 going across here and a 1 going across here. So one of these is a 1. we have a 1 going across here and 1 is going across here. So one of these is a 1. And we still haven't found a 1 for column 5. So it must go in one of these two squares, and this 1 blocks the square here. So here's a 1. These two 1s block across, so a 1 must go here. Now these have to be a 6 and a 7. Let me get back to the 5 and an 8 here and see if we can find some more digits for the remaining 4 squares. We would still be looking for a 3, and well, that would have to go here or here, and a 4 would have to go here or here. Yes. And we got a 9, a 4 now. How about a 6? Yes, these have to be a 4 and a 6, because we have a 4 and a 6 here, and we have a 4 and a 6 here, and that makes these two squares a 4 and a 6. And these being a 5 and an 8 makes these a 3 and a 9. This 3 is blocking over, so the 9 must go here, and the 3 must go here. This 3 blocks across, this 3 blocks up, so here's another 3. And this 3 blocks up, so does this, and this 3 blocks over, so a 3 goes here. I think we agreed that these had to be a 4 and a 6, and that leaves only this square. It therefore must be a 7. So now we have a 5 and an 8 here, here, and here. And these must be a 1, 5, and an 8. And that is not easy to see yet. We need a 2, 6, 7, and a 9 to complete row 3. There's a 9, 7, and a 6 in the column, so the 2 must go here. And this 2 blocks down. This 2 also blocks down. This 2 blocks across, so a 2 must go here. But I do recall that one of these had to be a 1, so this is a 1. 4 and a 9 now here makes this a 7. And now I think that we are getting somewhere. This is now also a 7, and that must be a 5. And that gives us a 5 here, and a 2 was the last digit we needed for this square here. Finding all these digits must have had some effect. Yes, of course, it had the effect of giving me an 8 here. This square has got to be a 5 now, and that makes this finally an 8. Here we're looking for a 1 and a 5. There's a 1 blocking up, so the 5 goes here and the 1 here. This last digit must be a 7. 7 blocks across. A couple of 7s block these 3 squares, so a 7 goes here, and that makes this a 7 and this a 6. And therefore this must be a 6. And therefore this is a 6 and this is a 4. Making this a 4 and this a 9. The last digit here has got to be a what? An 8. Making this an 8, of course. And these two squares must be a 5 and a 9. 5 blocks over, so 9 goes here, 5 here. And that gives us a 5 up here, and this square must be a 4. And 9 goes here. And that's it for today's puzzle. I don't think this was as easy as the preceding couple of weeks, but it was good fun. I hope for you as well. Please come back for more Sudokus soon. Bye for now.